ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जायमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामीति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. By His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. We are reading from Canto 4, Chapter 29, talks between Narada and King Prachinabarhi. So, now we are in a section where Narad Muni is explaining the allegory of a deer. Okay. And it's very interesting thing. Why it is explained in Purokshavad, one has to understand this is because, see, one thing is Narad Muni loves Prachinabari, right? This one has to realize that anybody who is concerned about us, who is offering us some feedback, offering some correction, that means that is the real expression of love, right? Nowadays, the Gen Z type of a thing, love means you have to just kiss somebody or embrace somebody, or keep on taking selfies and constantly send some message, I love you, send some heart and this and that. So, but here the great personality, Narada, he really loves Prachina Barhishat. He's coming from such a great background. He himself is such a great personality. And why he is telling this in Parokshavad? Why he is conveying this in Parokshavad? Why? Can somebody say? Narada Muni could have directly said he has that authority. He could have directly told him that, my dear king, just give up your nonsense and get out of. He could have directly told this. Why he is telling this in Parokshavad? Parokshavad means giving a example, third party example. There was a king and his name was Puranjan and city of nine gates. Why is telling this? Can somebody say?
Is it because Prabhuji and he was definitely having an respectable position in the society?
Correct. Perfect point. Because he has great respect for the king. Not only, see, position in the society is one thing, but they are discussing one to one, right? It is not one to many podcast. They are discussing one to one. One to one, sadhu means to cut. Narada could have simply said, and Narada, who is Narada? Narada is spiritual master of Dhruva, who is the great Purvaj of Prachinabari, right? So just imagine the spiritual master of our great great grandfather comes and is instructing us, and that Narada Muni personality like him, Prachinabari would have surely accepted the whole thing. And that's a private discussion between the two of them only sitting. But Narada Muni has great respect for Prachinabari. Not just the public respect, even the personal respect. So, you know, what is the learning here? The learning here is when we are offering some correction to somebody, we have to have we should never minimize the position of a personality to whom we are offering correction. Neither the correction should be offered in such a way that he starts hating himself. I am useless, I am third class. He goes in a guilt trip, or he goes in a, in a mood, in a consciousness which is like completely guilt ridden. So at the same time, you have to precisely pinpoint that, what is the root cause. And therefore, and neither you can have such Baba position, you take that Udasin Baba position. He said that, oh, yeah, you know, I mean, just paraphrasing a bad phrase in English, go to hell. Instead of that, you just say, oh, it is between him and Krishna, and he will take care of himself. And who am I to? And in fact, in Krishna consciousness, you have 10,000 more reasons why to do Vaishnava Aparadh, why to do this, why to do that. So therefore, whenever somebody offers correction to somebody, it is very important that how we are offering correction. And this applies to everybody and even to our children also. Not that we just call them by something, or publicly insult them, or publicly criticize them, right? We have to be aware of the public image of a personality and the self image of the personality, Atma Pratima. Okay. So Narada neither want to touch the public image of Prachina Barhi, neither he wants to touch the self-image of Prachina Barhi. He was a great king. Of course, he was a great king. He's coming from a great lineage. Of course, he is coming from a great lineage. His sons are Prachetas who are instructed by Lord Shiva. His Purvaj is Dhruva Maharaj, whom the Supreme Lord has directly given. But somehow he is on a track which needs to be corrected. This is the mood of Narada Muni, right? And therefore, he is conveying this entire story in Parokshavad. So amazing. Look at, how amazing is Srimad Bhagavatam. Why the entire story goes in Parokshavad? This is the reason. Entire story goes in Parokshavad. Narada would have simply, sat and said, Prachina Bari, come sit here. I want to discuss something with you. What is this going on? You know, what is this going on in your life? Uh, you are just dhumradhiya. Your whole intelligence is filled with the smoke of the yagya, and so many animals. No, he takes a long time, and it's a long, long story. Goes on for chapters in Srimad Bhagavatam, right? And now this chapter, you see, chapter 29, the talks between King Prachina Barhi, King Narada, Narada Muni and Prachina Barhi, that is also a very long, long chapter. How many shlokas? 85, 86 shlokas in this chapter. Almost 90 shlokas in this chapter, which is a big number. Because because Narada Muni loves Prachina Barhishat. So whenever we receive any feedback, and especially in the devotee community, feedback is so rare. Why? Because devotees have 10,000 reasons why not to give feedback to another devotee. Oh, he is senior devotee. Oh, he is, a wonderful devotee. It is between him and Krishna. We do not go know what kind of test he is undergoing by the will of the Lord. And, maybe it is pastime. Maybe it is this. So, when somebody opens his mouth and gives a feedback, right, one should be extremely grateful for the feedback. And that was the position of Prachina Barhishat. Prachina Barhishat, very intelligent, and he also respected Narada Muni so much. And at the same time, he also understood the feedback, right? So, the story of King Narada Muni and King Prachina Barhi is an extreme example. It means, it is like the supreme example of how to give feedback and how to receive feedback, right? How to offer correction and how to receive correction. While offering the correction, Narada Muni doesn't have this mood of, this fallen Prachina Barhi, you know, I have to just pick him up from the gutter. That is not the mood of Narada Muni. Narada Muni has great respect for Prachin Barhishat. And that is, and that's how a devotee respects even an ant, Prabhupada writes. So we are never disrespectful to anybody. In fact, those to whom we are offering correction, or those who are supposed to, like we are father, mother, guru nasasyat, you're a leader, facilitator, counselor. The mood should never be I am doing some favor on somebody. The mood should be that such a wonderful, nice devotee just getting slowly trapped by Maya. Let me, by having great respect for himself, keeping that respect intact, keeping his own self image intact, let me try to offer him some correction so that he will come on the right track. Right? And now Narad Muni, the compassion of Narad Muni, look at the compassion of Narad Muni. Now Narad Muni goes to another extreme and gives another allegory. And he is talking about the allegory of a deer. Right? So this is Bhagavatam, beautiful Srimad Bhagavatam. Bharat Maharaj exactly lacked this kind of association when he was getting attached to the deer. Okay, so the deer analogy will come again and again because the deer is DEER, deer. The deer is now, Bharat Maharaj, he just renounced everything. When we will come to that fifth canto, Tyaktva, very soon we are going to come to Bharat Maharaj. Tyaktva Sudustasham, what was, you know, extremely difficult to give up even for the Amarai, even for the demigods. Yavau, Juhau, Yavau, Malavat, Uttama Shloka Lalasa. Bharat Maharaj gave it up just as, and what a classic analogy Bhagavatam gives. When Bhagavatam gives analogy, Bhagavatam is the king of analogies. Bhagavatam says he gave up the kingdom, he gave up the jewelry, not some, you know, uh, the some that Bentex jewelry or 1 gram jewelry, right? Suvarna Sparsha, not like that. Suvarna Sparsha means just pani mara hai, sone ka, not that jewelry. Tons of gold, tons of diamonds, tons of. Okay. He gave up everything just like Yavav Malavat Uttamash, just like one goes to the toilet and one does the activity and one just pushes the flush and one is not feeling, oh my god, part of my body is I'm flushing it out. And that is not the mood. Person will just mind it, I mean, he's not just concerned about this flesh is going to go away, right? Like that, he gave up the entire kingdom and Uttama Shloka Lalasa. And for the Supreme Lord, he came to the forest. And in the forest, he was trapped by a deer. And he was a very advanced devotee. In fact, Bhagavatam explains he was in a Bhava Bhakti. And whenever he used to chant the mantras, his eyes used to, there was incessant tears from his eyes. And one day he came across such, I mean, very traumatic situation. He saw, the deer, pregnant deer, being chased by a tiger, and the deer was gasping for the life, running, and the tiger was chasing. The chase was coming very close chase, and suddenly there was a river. And suddenly there was a river, and this deer, the pregnant deer, to somehow save herself and the child, she jumped over the river, and that trauma was so much that she suddenly gave birth to the child, and the deer fell in the river and just you know but the child was saved. And there this very kind hearted Bharat Maharaj, he was just waiting there, and he just saw this entire episode, right? He picked up the deer, baby deer, and out of great compassion, right, here there was no lust, no anger. Can you imagine person falling down because of compassion? Sometimes we may take excessive compassion on people who apparently come to take shelter of us. And this is a classic trap. Of course, we have given up watching movies long back. But I remember in childhood watching one movie, Marathi movie. Very nice movie it was. Pinjara. I think Jabbar Patel and others. Shri Ram Lagu. Okay, I respect Shri Ram Lagu for at least his name, Shri Ram Lagu. Shri Ram. Okay, Dr. Shri Ram Lagu. So, and there was a nice teacher, and this teacher took a great compassion. He was a very compassionate personality and took great compassion on everybody. And he was taking great compassion on everybody, and he took great compassion on, some. क्या कहते हैं प्रभु जी मराठी तो I can very easily speak that word. Some tamasha artist, okay, tamasha kalakar, kalavant. And neither she was bad, neither he was bad, but the whole situation became bad, and he was trapped. And I mean, when it goes to movie, the cinematic, it became a very famous movie, and the title of the movie is also the same, Pinjara. Okay, that. So this is the trap of compassion. Can you imagine? Compassion can become a trap. Yes, when we do beyond our limits, compassion can also become a trap. And this is exactly happened with Bharat Maharaj. So Bharat Maharaj picked up the deer and he saved the deer, first thing. And when this tiger, when he saw Bharat Maharaj, now Bharat Maharaj is Purusharshava, right? Like Arjuna is explained as lion amongst the men. So like that, Bharat Maharaj himself was sovereign king, by whose name the entire Varsha is known as Bharat Varsha. Just imagine, right? Recently, we have seen two districts are being named by the two great personalities from the history. One is Ahilya Devi Holkar. We have this Ahilyanagar district, and we have Chhatrapati Sambhaji Maharaj, and we have Chhatrapati Sambhaji Maharaj district. Great personalities. Now imagine entire Bharat Varsha to be named after a king known as Bharat Maharaj. How great that personality must be. बराबर है ना. Here in Pune, where I live, when recently there was a terrorist attack, Pahalgam, and one personality was killed, and one small chowk is named after him. Hutatma, some Kaustub Ganbote Chowk, near Chordi Hospital and that place. So the greater the sacrifice, greater the achievement, greater is what you are being named for. Now imagine the greatness of Maharaj Bharat. That entire Bharat Varsha is named after Maharaj Bharat. Right? Such a personality who was envied even by the demigods. Such a personality getting trapped by the trap of compassion. And he started cajoling the deer, what do you call it? I mean, caressing the deer. And the deer was always coming in. Deer was always so happy with Bharat Maharaj. And slowly Bharat Maharaj started neglecting his own sadhana because of the deer. Right. So, and this is the analogy of the deer. That's why we are just discussing this. Somebody was asking me a question after the class, and then that's what I thought that we'll explain. He was asking that what is this Parokshavad and what this is. So this is the Parokshavad. And the deer was very happy. See, just imagine if you are a deer and if you get Bharat Maharaj association, what you will do? Array, with live blood, sweat, every drop of the blood will take association of Bharat Maharaj. Otherwise, can a deer reach even the reach personally to Bharat Maharaj? Such a great personality. He's the sovereign king. He's the Chakravarti Samrat. Can a deer reach? There are so many other deers in the in the palace of the king. Thousands of them. There are parrots. There are peacocks. There are so many royalty birds and animals. And he's a king. He's Chakravarti Samrat. Right. Even in IIT Madras, there are so many deers and so many monkeys, and many IIT across there are so many all these personalities. So what chance this deer had, who was just saved from the clutches of death? So there was no fault of the deer. The deer was not at fault, right? So when object of distraction comes to us, object of distraction is not at fault. Was Bharat Maharaj compassion was at fault? No, Bharat Maharaj compassion was not at fault. Karuna, right? Karuna is the highest dharma. Why a devotee preaches out of Karuna, Ahimsa? But the misplaced compassion was at the fault. Bharat Maharaj could have saved the deer, fed him for 2 3 days, maybe for a week, and then you just say, "My dear, join the other WhatsApp group." Right? You have other deers. Just you don't have to become Krishna of somebody. This is very important thing. Krishna of somebody. It is not that, oh, without me, how they. This is exactly what the 5.29 is. Bhoktaram Yagyatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. He is the well wishing friend, not you, sir. He is the well wishing friend. Surdham Sarvabhutanam. He is Surdham, he is Sarvabhutanam, Gyatva Mam Shantim Richati. But somebody coming and taking shelter of you in so many different ways. Somebody can become, somebody may join your group, somebody may join, as your counselee, somebody may become your disciple, somebody may become your employee, somebody may become your secretary, somebody may become your receptionist, right? Somebody may become your driver, somebody may become somebody. Okay, I mean, there are so many possibilities. But you are not Krishna of somebody. Only Krishna is Krishna of everybody. This is very important thing to understand. We are not Krishna of somebody. We have limits. And if we imitate to become Krishna of somebody, we will be destroyed. Right? We will be destroyed. There is a beautiful story in Vrindavan that one day, Krishna's one friend, Stoka Krishna or somebody, he just came to Krishna, or Krishna's Gopa friend, he came to Krishna and he said, Krishna, what is this? People, I mean, of course they love us, but the Makhan comes to you first. So please give me your flute and give me your peacock feather. And Krishna said, yeah, I'll give you my flute. I will give my peacock feather, but I hope you will be able to, handle it. And, and he said, yeah, what is their big thing in handling flute and peacock feather? Absolutely, I can handle it. And then he just was wearing the peacock feather. He took the flute. And by that time, back in Mathura, Kamsa has ordered the demon Keshi, and Keshi said, "Who is this? Krishna." And Kamsa said, "All that I can tell you that he takes the flute and he has the peacock feather." Right. And then Keshi just came running, I mean, the big demon, and suddenly he saw somebody with flute and peacock feather. And immediately he just marched. Just imagine Keshi marching, you know, keeping this Gopa in the mind. He just marched and about to attack. Krishna suddenly came in between, and this devotee, this Gopa boy said, Krishna, your flute is dangerous. Your peacock feather, only it suits you. Please take it. So when we become Krishna of somebody, we will be destroyed. I mean, one very powerful saying, and which is in a way very funny saying as such. Good intentions are pathways to the hell. Bharat Maharaj had only good intentions, and it took him to the next birth as being born as, and he became very attached to the deer. He had given up his own queen. He has given up his own Rajaputra, right? But the madness is such that Tyaktva Sudustajam. Okay, what is impossible to give up even for the demigods, he had given it in a very young age. He came to this thing and he became attracted to the deer so much so that when his time of death came, he was thinking of a deer. And he was constantly thinking, he's thinking, where is my deer? Where is my deer? This earth is so fortunate that the earth has the footprints of the deer, my lord. And thinking of the deer, We are studying that allegory of the deer, right? Thinking of the deer, Bharat Maharaj departed from his life only to prove Bhagavad Gita 8.5 true. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajati ante kalevaram tam tam evaiti kaunteya sada tat bhava bhavitah. Because he died thinking of a deer, next birth he received of a deer. Now just imagine. So Bharat Maharaj, and by the mercy of the Lord is always kind. Devotees are always kind. Lord doesn't take any pleasure in, you know, अपने नजर में गिराने को डिवोटी को. No, neither the devotees take a pleasure. And therefore, Lord from within Antaryami, he made Bharat Maharaj realize previous birth. And this deer was thinking, oh my God, I was Bharat, Maharaj Bharat. And everything he remembered in the life of a deer. And then he became a very ascetic deer. He said, no more mistake now. This life, no Baba, kuch mistake nahi. He started living came back to the same place, Pulaha Ashram, started living in the association of the saints, became a very saintly deer. He was doing Ekadashi, you know, he was doing all these tapasya and austerities. When other deers are coming saying that, chalo, tara ghum ke aate, he said, no, 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 you please continue. I have some higher duties in my life. And then, we will study that beautiful pastime when it comes. But this is the Parokshavad. That Narad Muni is giving one example, and then Narad Muni is giving another example of a deer. And who is Puranjan? Now, Narad Muni is so amazing personality. Narad Muni, by giving example of Puranjan to Prachina Barhi millions of years ago, and we are studying it now, but who is that Puranjan? We. Narad Muni is giving example of the deer. Who is that deer? We. And not only that, Bhagavatam is giving example of Bharat Maharaj. And Bharat Maharaj being distracted by a deer, we have to find out who is that deer in my life. Right? We have to find out who is that deer in my life. Who can take us away from Krishna potentially? Who can take us away from chanting the holy names? Who can take us away from four regulative principles? Right? It may come in the name of compassion. It may come in the name of political alertness. It may come in the name of just being cool. Yesterday, Rajsham Prabhu gave a very amazing Bhagavatam class, which is must hear at least 3 times. Okay. And there he was describing that how people, they have different habits they cultivate after becoming a devotee, and how the different habits they again come back, right? Like people are making some beard, and Raishampur said that I'm a strong man. I tell people, so they don't come in front of me. Prabhupada said. Sorry, Raishampur said, they don't come in front of me. They don't show the beard. And he said that one devotee came in front of me, but he was hiding the beard. Raishampur said, how can you hide a beard when you are talking to somebody? Right. So this could be one thing. Another Maya, another deer in our life could be, suddenly somebody may remember, his own Dhaviya, Dhaviba, or, those kind of a Facebook groups people join, and, suddenly to kai karto, ti kai karte, all those discussions may come up, right? So, or otherwise, suddenly we may take excessive compassion, just like Bharat Maharaj is taking excessive compassion on the deer, on somebody, which eventually will destroy us. Not the person, the situation. Not the person, the situation. What was the fault of the deer? Absolutely no fault. The deer in the life of Bharat Maharaj must have become a great devotee in the next life, right? We know that. Lavamatra sadhu sangha sarva siddhi hai. He got tremendous association, love and affection from Bharat Maharaj. So the deer may have become Bharat Maharaj, but the Bharat Maharaj became deer in the next life. What about that? So when Narad Muni describes the allegory of a deer, Narad Muni is directly talking to us. And whenever that's what we are seeing here, the great what this great narration is. This great narration shows Narad Muni's great compassion for Prachina Barhi. It shows Narad Muni's great skill in handing over the handing over, correcting the mistake. What a skill to correct the mistake, right? Narad Muni, it shows Narad Muni's great respect for Prachina Barhishat, right? And this is how the correction has to be offered and how correction has to be received. That Prachin Barhi will show us in the next chapter. He is not thinking, oh Prabhuji, oh Narad Muni, what do you think? I'm in Maya. Do you think, no, no. Prachin Barhi is not going to say all these things. Prachin Barhi is going to smile and say, Narad Muni, come on. I mean, I know who is Puranjan. I am that Puranjan. I know who is that deer. I am that deer. I know who is that deer in my life. Maybe my driver, maybe my attendant, maybe Facebook, maybe WhatsApp, maybe political alertness, maybe misplaced compassion, maybe the good intention, right, is the deer in my life. And thus, Prachina Barhishat is going to profusely thank Narad Muni, right? Nobody's position is minimized by receiving a correction. And this Prachina Barhishat knows extremely well. And that's what a devotee is. Like, what is that shloka which says he has a devotee has equal vision? And what is the comparison in that? What is the first line? Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavi Hastini Shuni Chaiva Shwapake cha Pandita Samadarshana. That a Pandita, a devotee of the Lord, his Samadarshan, and how much he's going to see Samadarshana? Vidya Vinaya Sampanna Brahmana. One who is a Vidya Vinaya Sampanna Brahmana and Shwapake, and one who is a dog eater, one who has just cut the dog in pieces and cooked, putting some garam masala in that. But this devotee will see both of them as soul. So everybody is potentially divine. Everybody is very, very divine. Everybody is as divine as the Supreme Lord, being part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. So there is no question of minimizing the position of somebody when there is correction is being offered. So one should always look for who is the deer in my life and who is Narad Muni in my life. Right? Problem happens is people, they stay away from Narad Muni and they are embracing deer. What will happen? Right? So if Prachina Barhishat says Narad Muni is coming and Prachina Barhishat bolo, Prachina Barhishat is out on some another, he has gone to another kingdom. Right? No. We have to, just like personally in my life, I am always teachable by His Grace Radhesham Prabhu. Whatever corrections he will tell me, if he appreciates me, wow, that's fantastic. He made my day, made my life that day. But I'm always looking for some corrections coming from him. Not many people will correct Prabhu. Not many people will correct us. Hardly anyone. I will say hardly one. And we should be extremely happy. I remember one devotee, I'm telling you, this is almost 20 years back, this happened in a counseling group. And he and his wife just came to our house. And this is such an amazing devotee. He said that, Prabhuji, my wife is maybe troubled by in-laws means his own father and mother. And maybe she doesn't like few traits in me. She has some complaints. So I told her, that I only will take you to, your counselor and you complain, whatever you want to complain, peacefully go. And, so I said, wow, what a mood it is. Awesome it is. Right. So I hope somebody was asking for what is Parokshavad, and this is what the Parokshavad is. That there is Parokshavad essentially means great respect, great compassion, great concern, but that concern is not passive. That concern is active. That concern is not direct. That concern is indirect, but still it is direct. And that is what the Parokshavad is. So we will conclude here and continue tomorrow. श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, गौर भक्त वृंद की जय. Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, everyone. Hare
Jai.
Krishna.
Jai. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhupada.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
everyone.
Thank you,
Hare Krishna.
Prabhupada. Dandut pranam.
Prabhu, one small question.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, thank you very much for putting your heart out. Very, very enlightening. Prabhu, the question is, why would Narada Muni have so much love or appreciation for Prachina Barhi? It was his sons actually who should get the credit, or maybe or should we also understand that Prachina Barhi has public image, you are saying, but in addition, he is in a position not able to understand the direct instruction. Like these two questions, like why would he love so much? Like we can see that he doesn't interfere in Bharat Maharaj's life. Like he could have, like wherever Bhagavatam, Narada Muni certainly comes in every story, but
So
he
why
doesn't.
he loves Prachina Parishad so much?
Yeah.
So one thing is, just like you have a counsel, and you naturally want their children also take on to Krishna consciousness, become wonderful devotees, like that. Correct?
Yes, Prabhu.
Naturally.
Yes, natural.
So, naturally. So Narada Muni has his counsel. Who? Dhruva Maharaj.
Okay.
And the lineage of Dhruva Maharaj is such an amazing lineage. There is appearance of Prithu. We have just discussed Prithu Charitra.
Yes.
Can there be a greater Charitra than Prithu Charitra? And he is just son, great grandson of Maharaj Prithu. And he is not that he is some sinful guy who is, going to a hotel and ordering some beef or something like that. No, he is just misled by, not being on the right path. Because the pandits, because the darbaris, they felt, oh, what is the see? I mean, that's what it is. Receiving good guidance is very, very rare. Otherwise, people have so many things to receive from us, and people will say that there is so much of conflict of interest in guiding people, in the sense that correcting people. You will say, if I correct him, the whatever. Say business I'm supposed to get from him, or whatever goodwill I'm supposed to maintain with him, we'll just go away. And that's why people don't correct. And within devotee association too, we have 10,000 other reasons. वैष्णव अपराध, we'll say, बाबा वैष्णव अपराध क्यों करेंगे? वो उसका लीला चल रहा है, जो कर रहा है वो करने दो उसको, बराबर है ना? इसके साथ घूम रहा है, इसके साथ घूम रहा है, घूमने दो, लीला चल रहा है. भागवतम में आएगा, नेक्स्ट कल्प में भागवतम में आएगा उसका नाम. And devotee will safeguard, and rightly so, right? It is not that we are like webcam who is just looking for the faults, trying to correct people and trying to save people from their misfortune. No, Vaishnava is supposed to be like this, adoshadarshi. So devotee has 10,000 more reasons why not to correct, but devotee takes great compassion, right? One who he should take he takes great compassion, saying that, oh, such a nice person, he's just wasting his life. What is the goal of your life? What is your sadhana card? सुबह बकरी को काटा, शाम को कुत्ते को काटा, बाद में गाय को काटा, बाद में इसको काटा, बाद में उसको काटा, और the house is filled with smoke, and this is your sadhana card, and you feel, अरे, where you are got caught up in all this karma kand, jnana kand, keval vishera bhand, right? And then therefore he took great compassion. Now glory is Narad Muni, of course, but the equal glory is Prachina Barhishad. He did not take it as a personal offense. Narad Muni, don't you know who am I? Who is my, great grandfather Maharaj Prithu? I am coming from Dhruva Maharaj's line. Do you think I can go astray like this? And is it not written in the scripture? Prachina Parishad could have shown him. Prachina Parishad could have shown him the entire Vedas line after line, right? He would have got in a complete denial mood. No, 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 no. I am not like this. I am not like this. Look at my intention. Correct? And
Yes,
that's what exactly happened with Bharat Maharaj. Intentions were great. And that's why that saying is, I was so surprised when I came across this saying, great intentions are pathways to hell. But I would read it 10 times. And I was thinking, and then, there is another such statement, good is enemy of great. So these are like one of my very, very favorite statements. So, but there is credit to Prachina Parishad also. Nowadays, we fear correcting counsels in the sense, the thinking that Baba wo kaise samjhenge, what they will think in their life. No. Whenever the correction takes place or correction is being offered, we have utmost respect, even while correcting, after correction also, and before correction. Like, somebody may complain, Prabhu ji, aapke wo devotee, unka aisa chal raha hai. First thing is, we never hear one side. Right. Narad Muni had this problem. He is like Tirka lag gaya. He knows past, present, future. He can see every side, every angle. Okay. He can adjust his camera on every sides and take an Insta reel. Narad Muni has no problem.
Yes, Prabhu.
Right. So, but we have to hear. So, whenever correction is being offered to us, we should be very aware that it is not to minimize. It is the pure expression of pure love and nothing else. There are 10,000 reasons why we should not be corrected for that devotee. Barabar.
Yes, Prabhu.
But still he is offering us correction. What is the need for Narad Muni to correct Prachina Parishad? Yeah, for Narad Muni, he can move across the universes. There are billions of such Prachina Parishad who will welcome Narad Muni, fall at their feet and, beg Narad Muni, what is the instruction? Please tell me.
Yes,
Right. Narad Muni had billions such Prachina Barihi waiting in line across the universes. But Narad Muni took great compassion on this Prachina Parishad. And Prachina Parishad was, highly aware of this. That, the correction is coming in my life only and only for my benefit. There is not even an iota, not even atom of disgrace, atom of, मेरी image इनके नजर में कम हो गई. There is not even an atom of iota of, there is nothing other than pure selfless concern. Right?
Yes, Prabhu.
What Narad Muni had to achieve by correcting Prachina, spending so much of time. Narad Muni later will say, Haryashvas, in one discourse, 1 hour, Narad Muni converted 11,000 people into pure devotees. So here, sitting, days in, day out with Prachina Parishad just to improve his life and bring him on the right track. Within that time, Narad Muni would have distributed so many Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. Unka jai jaikar hota temple mein. Barabar hai na?
Yes.
Narad Muni was not after number. Narad Muni was after that personality, who was very dear, because he was in the lineage of.
Dhruva.
So, when some senior devotee corrects us, he takes that great compassion. One should not think that, मेरा image का क्या होगा प्रभु जी, मेरा image आपके नजर में गिर गया. नहीं, क्या गिर गया, क्या हो गया? Later, Chitraketu Maharaj says this. What a beautiful verse. Bhava pravaha ek vasmin ka shapah ka anugrah. अरे बाबा, इतना भव प्रवाह जबरदस्त चल रहा है, उसमें क्या शाप क्या अनुग्रह. He's telling this to Mata Parvati. I accept your curse, right? So this is just the incessant flow of time, one headline after another, even within devotee circles, one headline after another. Kya image kahe ka ho? We have to just save ourselves, save our near and dear ones, and cross this bhava pravaha. And we have to save in the mood that when I will need some savior's grace, somebody will also come and save me. One who is correcting is not thinking that, oh, I am liberated, so Nitya Mukta. I have come here offering, this rope of saving to this Nitya Baddha. No, Baba, कभी भी किसी का भी बैंड बज सकता है. Maya is extremely strong. And therefore, we have to follow the Vaishnava etiquettes extremely well. Yesterday in Bhagavatam class, Raishambhar was saying, there is a rule of three. What is that rule of three? Rule of three means when you are counseling, there should not be a cross-gender, crisscross, single counseling, like Prabhuji counseling Mataji or Mataji counseling Prabhuji. No, there has to be one more person. And that person should not be affected party. Prabhuji was yesterday's class, my God, what it was, amazing. He was giving example. He said, rule of three doesn't mean Bhagavatam, huh? Raisham proves Bhagavatam. He was saying that rule of three doesn't mean that, दो लड़की एक लड़के के पे पीछे पड़े हैं, मतलब इन अवर क्रॉस टर्म लाइन मार रहे करके, दो लड़की एक लड़के पे, and they three are sitting and doing counseling amongst each other. No, that all three of them are affected parties. Okay, that is not the case. He was like on full flow yesterday, right? So Maya is very strong. Maya is very strong. For any reason, we should never play with Maya. Later in the 12th canto, we'll see Markandeya Muni wanted to have a glimpse of Maya, right? And what a glimpse he got. What a chapter it is. Okay, amazing chapter. So we should never play with Maya, thinking that, it is casual moment. Chalta hai Prabhuji. It's okay, Prabhuji. Sunaye philosophy. Usme kya? You are body, I am not the body. He is not the body. I am not the body. She is not the body. He is not the body. And from where the Maya is going to come? See, for Bharat Maharaj, Maya came from the surrounding. Right? Maya came from the surrounding. He was sitting in Pula Ashram. Suddenly the deer came, knocked the door, give me a job. But in this case, please save me. Compassion. Bharat Maharaj saved her, saved the deer, and got carried away. Right. So Maya is strong, one thing, and Maya is going to come from the surroundings only. And that's why we should not have frivolous behavior. Like, see, there is a saying, right? Familiarity breeds contempt. Like, when we become familiar, like, even amongst devotee circles also. Now in Pune, it is not there because we have Radhesham Prabhu. And Hyderabad also you will not see because there is also Radhesham Prabhu. But devotees also, and those who are doing it, don't take them, it is not against them or anything like that. We are just discussing some example of being casual. Dando Prabhu, or, log aisa bhi dikhate, vancha, and okay, that's their friendliness and we fully appreciate their expression of, being cool. But the point is, sometimes it crosses the boundary. Like, one devotee on a Mars planet. Okay, so don't try to guess also or try to judge also. Right. And he was so jovial, always very jovial, always very happy, always very, some people are like that, right? Very, very jovial people. So he was like that and just making comments, just making comments here and there. So this devotee was making comment and, his way of making comments was like, just appreciate everybody. And in that flow of that comments, he was saying, one Mataji was dressed well and he just said something. And that became such a, the big talking point on the Mars planet. Okay. So it is not any Pune case or Hyderabad case or Earth, Bharatvarsha ka case nahi hai ye. Mars planet ka case hai. So one has to maintain the boundary. Especially, and this is not me, Radhesham, Baba, I'm just repeating what Radhesham Prabhu spoke yesterday in the class, but I'm just combining it with Parokshavad. Okay. So it is not me, all credit and all the, the hammer of behind this goes to him. Right. So the Maya is come from the surrounding. बराबर है ना? And it
Yes.
may come out of compassion. In Chennai only there was an example. There was a case of one very big industrialist from rags to riches. Suddenly, somebody, and very true story. I'm just missing the names. They are not handy with me. He started a hotel business, and something like 500, 600 hotels he had. And one after another, he was opening hotels everywhere. He opened hotel in Kuwait, Dubai, Bahrain, Gulf countries. Became very, very big man. And somebody joined him as a secretary. And taking a great compassion on this secretary, he fell in love with her. But she was not in love with this man. And she just abjectly rejected this man. But he was just like, was chasing. And then later he killed her husband. And finally, he landed up in trouble. He went to the jail. He died in the jail. Entire business was collapsed. This was to the tune of 700 or 1,000 crores. Right?
Yes,
Misplaced
read it.
compassion. You read this?
Yes, Prabhu. I
Yeah,
remember.
very famous case this is.
Yes, Prabhu.
Very famous case.
Yeah.
So this is what the misplaced compassion is. And this is what the simple things we have to follow. Rule of two. And then yesterday Radhesham Prabhu was also saying this. That, and therefore it is very imperative for the ladies to keep a respectable distance with the Prabhujis. Right? Not that iska band bajati hu, uska band bajati hu. One should not, Krishna will आपका ही बैंड बजा देंगे भगवान कृष्ण. तो राजेश्वर प्रभु बहुत स्ट्रांग थे कल. Maybe I heard that class too intensely and carrying forward here because we never go beyond 7:45. It is 8:10, right? But the concern is, there is a concern. People are, even after becoming devotee, people are living their college hostel life, right?
Yes, Prabhu.
Hostel में कौन गाना नहीं गाता? Everybody sings. But after becoming devotee, those songs will hurt us. Okay, hostel में कौन eggs नहीं खाता? Of course, I'm not saying devotees are eating eggs or kind of thing. But the point is, we don't have to relive our hostel life in our 50s, in our 40s. It may not end very well. This is what Narad Muni wanted to convey to Prachina Barhishat. And he just conveyed it so well. Narad Muni, whenever, in whichever lifetime we go back to Godhead, Narad Muni, we should offer our prostrated obeisances to Narad Muni. What a personality. Canto after canto he comes, canto after canto, he reveals his another great trait within his personality, his compassion. And then, our parampara, Srila Prabhupada, our spiritual master, our Shiksha Guru, right? They are in the same line of Narad Muni, right? So when some indication, when some correction is coming directly or indirectly, right? It is Parokshavad or whatever it is. First thing is, one should be sensitive enough to understand its indication. Prachin Bari did not say, Narad Muni, fantastic, what a story, nice. Chalo, let's have some nice dinner now. Kya Puranjan pagal tha, my God. Puranjan simply wasted his life. And he ordered the next yajna to continue. Chalo, kal 4 bakre katenge, bakra yajna karenge. No. Prachin Bari, he took it so seriously that before the Prachetas returned home from the austerity, Narad Muni, Prachina Barhishat, he left the house without a king, kingdom without a king, just imagine, which is like a desperate situation. We have already seen kingdom without a king, what happened after Maharaj. Anga left, after Maharaj, Ven was killed. Right?
Yes.
So, but he left it. Narad, he simply left before the Prachetas return, and this is how he accepted. He applied in his life. So both are great. Narad Muni is great. Of course, Narad Muni is great. And Prachina Barhishat is also great. Narad Muni is great for correcting in a Parokshavad, right? With the example of city of 9 gates, Navadwar, Puranjan, and another allegory of the deer. And Prachina Barhishad is also great. He's not saying that, arrest him, put him in the jail. What do you think that he can correct me? Even you can fall in Maya, Narad Muni. No, Prachina Barhishad, he took it very positively. And he acted on it. He did not go in a self-guilt mode. कि हाँ मेरे से मिस्टेक हुआ नारद मुनि इतने एनिमल एंड ही डिड नॉट ओपन अ जू और समथिंग लाइक दैट let me become friend of the animals, and he did not join PETA, such a stupid organization. PETA, okay, he did not join PETA, prevention, that that, right? Cruelty against the animals. Okay, very very left liberal woke organization, that PETA. So he did not join PETA. He did not open some zoo saying that, oh, I have done so much harm to all these animals, I will just dedicate my life for the animals. International Society for Animal Consciousness. He did not open like that. He took the correction very positively. Right. So guilt trip is another trap of Maya. That, oh, I'm so fallen, Prabhuji. Bas, le lo. I mean, no, that is guilt trip is another trap of Maya. So Prachina Barhishad, he very intelligently responded to Narada Muni. Narad Muni very intelligently offered the correction to Prachina Barhi. And that's why this beautiful pastime is part of Srimad Bhagavatam.
Yes.
So we will conclude here. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you very much.
Narad Muni ki jai. Prachina Barhishat Maharaj ki jai.
Thank you,
Ananta
Prabhupada.
Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Prabhuji.
I cannot say sorry also, because I generally say sorry if I go to 750. In the history we have not gone to 8:15. So thank you very much. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Dandavat pranam.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
I should
Thank you,
for asking.
Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna.